the wind was shite and the wolves went howling in the hills, she would cackle and bark in her cot after dark, and her body would rattle with the chills. Her knob had 2 teeth and a third underneath, and she'd moan and bite hard on the teat. She drew blood with the milk, with a tongue like silk and a sheen of a side of red beef.
Kylie!
Morticia.
Kylie!
Morticia.
Kylie!
Morticia.
She's an only child, so naturally we notice her flaws very quickly.
Aye, at first we thought she was blind.
Because my auntie had cancer of the eyes. Had to have one removed very early on. Mind you, the glass eye was pretty good. Looked very real.
It was unbelievable. You couldn't tell the difference between the good one and the bad one.
We took her to the doctor, explained we were worried that our little girl might have inherited auntie's cancer of the eyes. But he just said that Kylie had a vacuous stare.
Morticia.
So I asked if she was mentally handicapped.
Learning difficulties. People don't say mentally handicapped anymore. It's not nice.
All right, learning difficulties then. Who gives a shit?
How come?
To be honest, I don't even like to say learning difficulties. I mean, we all have some kind of learning difficulties, don't we? Me, for example, I have difficulties in the art of map reading. I'm always getting lost. No, I prefer to say people with cognitive differences. I think it's more accurate and less judgmental.
Cognitive differences? Oh no, I don't think I can get used to saying that.
It's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? We've just got used to saying learning difficulties.
Well, there we are, you see. We all have learning difficulties.
She was born with a big head. Her labour was pure murder because of it. And at first we thought that she might be hydroelectric.
Hydrocephalic.
Aye, that's right. Water on the brain.
Anyway, the doctor said that it wasn't hydrocephalitic.
Hydrocephalic.
But anyway, her abnormally large head...
I have to say, doesn't seem unusually large to me.
But you never saw her when she was first born. It was massive.
Don't keep interrupting, Malcolm. I'm trying to explain everything to the kid's psychiatrist.
I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm a psychologist. I'm not medically trained, which means that I'm not permitted to prescribe drugs, thank God.
What, you mean you're not qualified? You're not a real doctor?
Oh yes, I have a doctorate in psychology, but not psychologists. We're not so tied down to the medical model. We tend to see the whole person and try not to reduce the displayed behaviour to being a product of a diseased brain.
Ignore my husband, Dr. Moore. He's just an idiot. Malcolm, the school recommended Dr. Moore's, so shut up and let me finish. The doctor said that the large head meant that she might be either a genius or an idiot.
Looks like she turned out an idiot then.
Well, we know where she got those genes from then, don't we? Because I was talking by the time I was 9 months old. But Kylie...
Morticia.
She never uttered a word until she was 5. Oh, do you know what the first word she said was? Scared the living daylights out of me, I can tell you. She came, sat down at the dinner table and said...
Death. Can you believe it? The first time our little girl spoke and she said death.
You mean she was telling you she was deaf?
No, death. Like when you're dead. I mean, don't get us wrong, we were absolutely delighted that she'd spoken for the first time, but
But we did feel disgust. And I freaked! I mean, wasn't natural, was it? But then Malcolm here decided that she couldn't have realised what the word meant.
Why'd you like to be called Morticia?
Answer the doctor! Don't take it personally, Doctor. I'm really sorry she's like this with everyone. Come on, Kylie, don't be rude. The nice man's trying to help you.
Morticia.
That's not the name you was christened with.
I never asked to be christened.
Don't be silly. You was a baby. How could we ask you? Anyway, everyone's christened. It's normal.
The holy water burned me. I'll never forgive you for that. I was just a little baby, and you deliberately tried to burn me. How could you?
You being silly. Holy water can't burn. It's holy. It's from Jesus. Malcolm, you don't think that vicar was drunk again and accidentally put boiling water in the font, do you?
don't be ridiculous. She's making it up. It's called false memory syndrome, isn't it, Doctor? I mean, next she'll be accusing us of satanic ritual abuse.
Personally, I have doubts about the whole concept of false memory syndrome. And I don't believe children make things up.
You believe everything a kid says? And you call yourself a real doctor?
There's an underlying reason for everything. Now, if you don't mind, I would now like to talk with Morticia without any interruptions. Morticia, would you prefer your mum and dad to wait next door in the observation room for a few minutes so that we can have a quiet little chat on our own? My assistant will switch the monitors on so that you can observe and listen and know that Morticia is quite safe. Are you comfortable? Good. So, why do you like to be called Morticia?
You mustn't think that's because of those stupid Addams Family movies.
No, of course not.
Morticia means death.
Ah, of course.
Then there's Mortician, Mortre, Mortarthur.
Mortarthur?
Death of Arthur.
Ah, of course.
His son, who is also his nephew, is called Mordred, meaning death.
That's true.
Mordred's mother, who is also Arthur's sister, which is why Mordred is both son and nephew of Arthur. Well, she is called Morgana, and you've got Morrigan, meaning death. And then you've got Morbid. And in the old days, some people, posh people usually, like to have real human skulls on their desk, which were called memento mori. It was to remind them of death, that nothing lasts. Here today, gone tomorrow.
My word. You have been thinking a lot about death.
You know, amore, it means love, and mort, death. They sound similar. Perhaps in the beginning they had the same meaning. Love and death, like they are brother and sister. Or two sides of the same coin.
Kylie, Morticia. Kylie, Morticia. Kylie, Morticia.